All right, in this video, I want to wrap up the discussion of vowels and the IPA in general by looking at two things that are important for some languages, even though they don't come up in English. Actually, it's three things. So first, I'll talk about tone and nasalized vowels. I'm talking about them together because both of them come up in languages like Dene and Clichon, which use tone and nasalization to carry differences in meaning. Unlike in English, if I say pin versus pin, it's the same word. If I say, and I can't change the nasalization. So both Dene and Clichon and other languages have systematic ways of spelling this. So for a given vowel like e, shown here, you can write it plain, which you see here in the lower left, to indicate that it's not nasalized and it's not high tone. You can put an acute accent, like you see here, above that, over the vowel to indicate that it's high tone. And you can put this hook pointing to the right underneath to indicate that it's nasalized. So the difference between plain and high tone would be e, so it's a higher pitch. Nasalization, you get non-nasal e and nasal eh, eh. And you can actually do both at once. You could have eh, right? And to have both, you have the tone mark and the nasal mark. Now, the neat thing about these languages is that they do have a nice way of writing it. If we now switch to how the IPA represents this, you notice that it's very similar. In fact, the high tone mark is exactly the same thing. The only thing that's different is nasalization in the IPA is given by a tilde, this sort of squiggly line above the vowel, instead of the hook underneath. And so when you have both together, you get them kind of stacked. And not all fonts and not all platforms are going to show that nicely. But anyway, that's how nasalization and tone are done in the IPA. And you can use the same online IPA keyboards as you use for other characters to get these marks added to your letters. Usually you write the letter itself and then you find the mark for the IPA character and put that in. The other thing I want to talk about is long vowels. And this comes up, for example, in Cree and related languages, which have generally, Cree has 4 long vowels and 3 short vowels. So to show the difference between a long and short vowel in Cree, which we have on the top, the short vowel is just given by the plain letter. For example, the letter A for ah. And the long vowel, depending on where you are, you either use a hat, the circumflex, or use a macron, that straight line. So this is ah and ah. In the IPA, ah is just short, that's the normal. And to make it long, you put, it's a funny character. Usually we just use a colon in place of it, that's fine, to indicate that the letter before that colon is pronounced longer. Okay, so that's that's all of the things that I really wanted to cover in this video. We saw high tone, nasalization, and long vowels. So hold on. All right, so that's all for this video. Just a few quick things to wrap up there. So I will see you in the next video.